What is the mark of the beast? Is it about to become reality? Let's think about it. Mark of the Beast, 666. Everyone has heard these things, but how many people actually know anything about them? Even Christians are afraid they're going to accidentally take the mark of the beast. Well, let's see what we can learn about the mark of the beast from Scripture. Before that, though, let's review what I talked about last time, about how the spirit of Antichrist has a dual nature. There's the Antichrist and the false prophet. Here's something that's interesting to note. The Antichrist doesn't even bring the mark of the beast. That is the false prophet's job. The false prophet's a figure of deception. He's always lurking behind the scenes, obscuring truth. The spirit of Antichrist is alive and working well today. We can see it as we look at world events and news that's happening in our nation. So let's go back and reread about the false prophet in Revelation 13. Revelation 13, 11 to 14 says, "Then I saw another beast coming up out of the earth. He had 2 horns like a lamb and spoke like a dragon. And he exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence, and causes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. He performs great signs, so that he even makes fire come down from heaven on earth in sight of men. And he deceives those who dwell on the earth by those signs which he was granted to do in the sight of the beast." So lies and deception. Unless you're weak-minded, you can already see the Jedi mind trick the media is trying to pull on us. You know, when you think about audio and video media, it's a very powerful tool for transmitting information. But it also has the ability to create an emotional tie, to create a narrative that isn't exactly true. Look at the movies we watch. They can incite all kinds of feelings inside you, and it's not even a true story. So through audio and visual media, you can influence emotions to induce illogical thinking. Now, can you imagine a time when there's actual movie effects happening in real life? You don't turn on your TV or your tablet or your computer or your phone. No, you simply look out your window and there is great signs and wonders happening in real life, real time. That would have an effect on you. I mean, we're talking no post-production, fire coming down from heaven in the sight of men. This is why signs and wonders can be a dangerous thing when determining truth. We don't judge truth by emotions or feelings. We determine what is true by Scripture. Scripture tells us what will happen ahead of time so that we won't be deceived. Jesus warned us in Matthew 24, verses 23 to 25. "Then if anyone says to you, 'Look, here is the Christ,' or 'There,' do not believe it. For false Christs and false prophets will rise and show great signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. See, I have told you beforehand." Now see, the spirit of lawlessness is already at work. It has been for centuries. 2 Thessalonians 2, 7 to 10. "For the mystery of lawlessness is already at work. Only he who now restrains will do so until he is taken out of the way. And then the lawless one will be revealed, whom the Lord will consume with the breath of his mouth and destroy with the brightness of his coming. The coming of the lawless one is in according to the working of Satan, with all power, signs, lying wonders, and with all unrighteous deception among those who perish, because they did not receive the truth of the love, that they might be saved." So people will see these signs and wonders and marvel at them. And it will affect their emotions, it'll affect their beliefs, and they'll start to worship the beast. And this will be like society peer pressure, which we can see today. You know, we have this culture now that shames people into doing things. Everybody's doing it. Everybody's making statements about this cause or that cause. And if you don't join in, shame on you. If I reread verse 12 of Revelation 13, it says, "He exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence and causes the earth and those who dwell on it to worship the first beast." That's key. People will be worshiping the beast system and the man. They will be convinced. So the mark of the beast is not about buying and selling. It's about allegiance. It's about pledging allegiance to the beast system, and everything it stands for. And in a way, it's like selling your soul to Satan. Because once you take it, there's no way back. Revelation 14:9-11. Then a third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if anyone worships the beast and his image, and received his mark on his forehead or on his hand, he himself shall also drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out full strength into the cup of his indignation. He shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascends forever and ever, and they have no rest day or night, who worship the beast and his image, and whoever receives the mark of his name. So what you see over and over is this tying of the mark and worship. That's what it's all about. Taking the mark of the beast either on the hand or on the forehead means you've allied yourself with Satan. The side effect is buying and selling. This is key. Revelation 13:16-18. He, speaking of the false prophet, causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. Now, in this passage, it says you receive the mark on your right hand or on your forehead. Now, there's a little bit of debate as to what the word on means, because some translate it in. King James Version, I believe, translates it in. The version I'm reading here translates it on. The Greek word is epi. Now, I'm not a Greek scholar. If I were, maybe I'd look like this. The Alpha and Omega. But according to the tools I have access to, it can be translated as on, in, upon, unto, or to. And we have imported this as a prefix in English. And an example would be epicenter. Why the hand or the forehead? I assume it's because the hand would be easier, but not everybody has a right hand. Everybody's got a head. They may have lost their mind, but they have their head. Now, the mark of the beast creates all sorts of senses of fear, like of, oh, what is it? Am I going to take it? Have I already taken it? There's no need to worry about that. People were worried about checking accounts, credit cards, phones, microchips. It always changes as technology increases. The mark becomes something else. It's not about your number. It's about his number. That's what it says. So people were always worried. Oh no, my bank account has 666 in it. Oh no, my credit card has 666 in it. Oh no, my phone number has 666 in it. People actually have their numbers changed when they have that number in it because they're worried. You don't need to worry because the mark hasn't come yet. Nowhere does Scripture say that you use the mark of the beast to buy and sell. Maybe you will, but I don't see it as necessary. Revelation 13:17. That no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark. It doesn't say you use the mark to buy and sell. It just says you have to have it to buy and sell. This is why I emphasize careful reading of Scripture. Don't make it say more than it does. Think of it like an authentication or a validator. In other words, it's the first step. It's like your ID. You need that just to get in the door, just to be part of the marketplace. We have something in our society right now that's kind of like this. It's called a mask. Many stores require them for you even to get inside. But you aren't using that ridiculous piece of cloth to actually pay for anything, are you? No. You're using cash, credit, debit, check, whatever. And you can lay your fears aside because the mark can't arrive until the beasts are in play. Until we have the Antichrist and the false prophet. And it looks like, according to Scripture, this plays out closer to the midpoint. So, even if the last 7 years, the 70th week of Daniel started today, We're looking at like 3.5 years until the mark of the beast would become a reality. The Antichrist has to declare himself to be God. He breaks the 7-year covenant midway. And then the order will go out to all the nations that
execute order 666.
I couldn't resist doing that. Now, if we go back to verse 18 of Revelation 13, it says, "Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. You know that phrase, who has understanding? Well, everyone wants to be the one to crack the code. In the Hebrew and Greek languages, the letters have numeric values. This is called gematria. But there's been some very silly English-based things happen by using English letters and numbers. That's not even the language that the New Testament was written in. So that's just dumb. There's many theories on how to interpret this. Who's right? I don't know. Maybe we're all wrong. But we do know this. It says it's the number of a man. So 6 is man's number. Why is this? Well, man was created on day 6. 7 is God's number of completion. So we're one less from completion. We missed the mark. Without God, we're incomplete. Well, here we have 3 6s. So it's kind of like what people call the unholy trinity. You have Satan, the Antichrist, and the false prophet. All together would be 666. Is there more? Maybe. But maybe you only solve it once the beasts are revealed. You know, prophecy is not really given to predict the future. It's given so that we can validate present events as they happen. Or that we can look into the past and go, hey, God did exactly what he said he would do. Prophecy builds our faith and trust in God. And I think that's something we should think about.